Hey everybody, how's it going? It is Matt and it is Wild Wednesday. Yes, folks, it is already hump day. Thank goodness, because it is almost TGIF. First and foremost, I do hope each and every one of you, even the ones that are not happy to see my face, I am still happy to see you, and I hope that you have a great morning, evening, dawn, day, or dusk. Because life really is too short as is, so try to go through life as positive as you can, because otherwise it's just going to drag you down and make you feel like crap. Yeah. And then do like, share, and subscribe. I love seeing each and every one of you every Monday through Friday, permitting my schedule. And then, of course, major holidays, I won't be here. Got family things that I usually have to take care of, that kind of stuff. And then also do me a huge favor and check out the information in the description box. I give you a little bit bigger of a taste of the daily film, such as I give you a brief synopsis, your starring cast, runtime of the cut I am watching, along with director, MPAA rating, if there is one that exists, some trivia, and then, of course, a link for either a trailer or a scene from the movie. Now, today I had an extremely hard time trying to find a link for a trailer or anything like that for this movie. I scoured through lots and lots and lots of sites, and all I could find was one scene, and I give you a link for that, and it is from YouTube, so it's not from some questionable site. I found one little link to a scene on YouTube, which is worth checking it out, so it gives you a nice little bit bigger of a taste of it. But I try to give you something a little extra on that. Now that I got all that out of the way, let's get on to the film of the day. This one is an epic one. Came out all the way back in 1986, 1987. It says 86 on the box, says 86 on IMDb, but it wasn't released till 1987. So either way, I'm going with 1986. This is a very crisp, clean release here from Massacre Video. It does run under... This is the alternate title, The AIDS Murders, which is what I ran it under, because I think that is a much more, I think that's a better title. It fits with the story a little bit better, and it just really, really pops and gives you a little more worry for our victims in this movie. And now it does run under City in Panic is the major title that it runs under. It does have this alternative artwork on here, which I do really like it. Don't get me wrong. I just happen to like the AIDS Murders artwork much more. I tend to go with that alternate artwork with most of my releases if there is an option, especially for the Massacre Video stuff. They always give you something cool on the inside. Now, as far as any kind of and this is a standard issue press DVD, just to let you know. I forgot to say that. But as far as special features would go on this one, you don't have much. You have a couple of trailers, one for Ostermontag. What else was on there? I can't even remember what. Nurse Jill was one, and then I can't remember the third one. It was, Fade to Black. I don't know. Not Fade to Black. Anyways, I know which one it is. It's stuck on the tip of my tongue, and I can't say it right now. I can't remember it. But either ways, it's had 3 trailers on there, and it had a interview with a guy named Cameron Scholes, and it was on Peter Wilson, who was one of the producers for this film. And he talks about how Peter was as a producer and kind of a person, because he really showed his character by some of the stories. If they're true, it really shows his character, because Peter Wilson wasn't necessarily doesn't sound like he was necessarily in it for anybody else except for himself, which is most people in film and in television and music, just the entertainment industry in general. Most people are in it for just themselves. But it's a very interesting interview, and he does come across a little bitter, this Cameron Scholes fella. towards him, but not towards the film or any of that in general. It's just mostly about Peter Wilson. And it doesn't really, it's one of those things you don't really have to watch the special feature, the interview, because it doesn't add anything to the movie. It doesn't add any new layers or anything interesting to this, anything interesting at all to it. It's a very off key, I would say. It doesn't really have anything to do with it. All right, now that I got all that out of the way, this one runs at an hour and 25 minutes, at least the cut that right here is. I imagine this is probably the most uncut version you're going to get. I doubt this one has ever really suffered anything along the way. There is some nice little slashings with a knife, because as you can see, our killer uses a very big buck knife looking weapon, and it's very gets very graphic in places. Our killer goes by the name of M, which is kind of an homage to the old film M, the Fritz Lang. Is it not? No, it's not Fritz Lang, but I can't even remember who made that one now. But either way, it's a throwback to, it's a nod to that movie M, which I should know that one as well. I'm having a tough time. But either way, it's a fun little nod. As far as who's in this, we got Dave Adamson and Leeann Westergaard are the two that are listed as starring cast. They didn't really throw in too many others in with the starring cast, because I usually get it right off of the thing here. I go with who's top billed. So sometimes there's bigger actors that don't get named, but I only put down who's top billed. Anyways, and this one was directed by Robert Bouvier. This is the only film that I know of that he did. I don't really know much about his career, so there's not going to be any in-depth thing of me talking about him on that. All right, all that jazz, all that blabber out of the way. Let's get on to what it's about. It's about this radio DJ who is kind of a renegade, kind of walks to the beat of his own drum. He's very aggressive in his tactics. He's not forceful, but he is very aggressive in the way he presents himself in a vocal stance and everything that he in his conversations with people. He is very to the point, no bullshit, just says what's on his mind and does it right then and there. So he's an interesting character. And then we have this what's going on is there's murders going on in this city, the city of Toronto to be precise. There's these murders, and they've been almost all but one have been men, and they all have one thing in common to each other, and that is that they all had AIDS. That is AIDS, and the men were all homosexual gay men. You know, I don't get homosexual. I don't really like that term. They were all gay men. But either way, they all had that in common. The woman did not. She just happened to have AIDS as well. But either way, this reporter is kind of baiting our serial killer M onto his television radio show to kind of boost ratings. In other words, he does come across as somebody who cares, at least, who wants it to stop, but he is also sensationalizing it just a little bit, as there's this other character in the movie who's a TV gossip columnist. He actually writer and gossip columnist type person. He really has it out for our main character, played by Dave Adamson. He is constantly bashing him on a verbal level when it comes to anything in the media. So he has another there's a a force that's going against him, not only with the police, the murderer, but he also has another guy out there who is in the industry as with him, that is also kind of like trying to shove him off of the subject, because they feel like he's not making anything better. Which in all actualities, I think that was kind of a dumb thing. I feel like educating the people, the masses, is the smartest thing to do when you have a serial killer loose in your neighborhood or your city or in your area, wherever you live. I think that's education against that is the best thing that you can do. It's the best weapon you can have. But either way, that's one thing I didn't really like how they approached it. They didn't want to really give away too much on as far as letting the masses know what some of the key elements were, like as far as like leaving the calling card, which is interesting. It's an interesting way to approach the slasher genre all the way around. It was new and very I would bet this would be, I would say, controversial, very cutting edge as well, because with the part of the LGBTQ community, I imagine this one would maybe strike a chord or two, pull at the heartstrings of somebody amongst that community, or just humanity in general. They would yes, I'm trying. Where am I trying to go with this? They would sympathize with our victims a little more, if that makes a little more sense. Sometimes I stumble over what I'm trying to say, but either way, that's what I'm trying to get at. But this killer is going around, like I said, is killing people with AIDS and they all happen to be gay men. And he leaves a very nasty calling card. He slashes the letter M in them, while he taunts the police and this radio newscaster type guy. He has a talk show. There's a lot of cat and mouse tormenting going on here. It has a nice little body count, just to let you know. There is a fun little twist towards the end that involves our killer and our radio newscaster type guy, because it's one that I didn't see coming. It makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. It's one of those. It can swing either way on that one. It'll either crush it out of the park for you, or it's going to fall flat and strike you out. But either way, I think it works. I have no real qualms about the ending to this one. But either way, it's worth checking out. Step out of your box and check out City in Panic, aka the AIDS Murders. This is a very, 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 very good slasher. As far as any kind of ratings would go on this one, on a technical side, they do a rather well job. The acting is very tip top. It's filmed on a very, very good fashion that never really gets boring or too dull. I take that back. Never really gets too boring or dull, because there are a couple little lulls in it, but it's backstory stuff. It's mostly stuff that is dealing with that other columnist, the gossip queen, starting stuff with our main character. It's quite an interesting relationship between those two. But I would say that it has many layers as well. So look for something with lots of layers. Definitely look for something that you have to pay attention to. This is not a just lay around and kind of haphazardly pay attention to. Definitely give this one 100% of your attention. So I'm going to say this is probably a 3 out of 5. bordering a 4 out of 5 for as far as the technical side goes. It is, like I said, very well made. As far as an entertainment side goes, it is pretty good entertainment top to bottom. I've watched it 3 times now. It's one that it's hard to describe, but it's also easy to give away a lot of key things that shouldn't be given away. Especially the whole thing that about the ending, the twist ending would be bad to give away, obviously. But there's things that have to do with some of the murders that you don't want to give away. They don't let you know that they have AIDS until much further in the film, so that obviously gives away a key thing. That's what I was talking about with the name there, just to let you know. But either way, I would say this is a 4 out of 5 for as an entertainment side. This is like a 8 out of 10 kind of movie. This is a film, in my opinion. I would definitely check this out. This is very, very good. This is worth your while. Alright, guys, I'm going to get the hell out of here. I got some stuff to do. I've been dragging ass all day, so I got things to get motivated and do. Love your faces as always, and peace.